choosing a new phone to buy can be a difficult thing to do. While it is fun to pick between the flagship models of various brands, assuming you have an unlimited budget, it is more difficult when you're talking about more budget-friendly smartphone models. That's because you only have a set budget to work with, and you always want to get the most out of your budget. At the same time, you have to set expectations on what you're getting. Take this for example, the all-new HONOR X7a. It's HONOR's new entry-level smartphone and it retails for only 7,990 pesos. If you had a lot more funds, this probably wouldn't be the first phone you'd consider this 2023 given the specs it has. But for those who are a bit tight on budget or don't want to drop a lot of money on a phone, this video might be just for you. I'm Jose from Yugatech and join us as we do a full review of the new HONOR X7a. Let's start with the design. If you've ever tried the HONOR X7, which was launched last year, you'll notice that the new X7a looks more or less the same both from the front and rear. Honestly, it's a bit hard to tell the two apart, especially at first glance, but if you look at the back of the phone more closely, you can see the redesigned camera bezel featuring a new rectangular housing. As a result, one of the camera lenses is now separate along with the flash. They've also added a new lens decal as well to give the rear some styling points. Aside from the new rear camera housing though, the rest of the phone remains nearly identical, from the button layouts to the position of the USB-C 3.5mm audio jack and even the front camera. The X7a itself feels nice to hold since the side of the phone is made of metal. And the buttons are easily accessible too when you're using it with one hand. With the phone shape, you won't accidentally press any buttons on the screen either. It's quite slim too, it fits in my pocket along with my daily phone without making my pads feel too bulky. However, the phone does feel a bit plasticky, particularly the backside. But if you have to manage expectations given the price, as much as I don't want to cover up the nice ocean blue color, which isn't too loud or subtle, I suggest using this phone with a case. That's because the backside is just a fingerprint magnet, and as you can see here. Now, moving on to the display. The HONOR X7a sports a large 6.74 IPS screen. We also noticed that the screen isn't entirely flat with some curves at the edges. However, there are noticeably thick bezels, particularly at the top and bottom of the screen. The colors of the X7a are great, with great contrast, although they are a bit too saturated for my liking. There's also a really bright backlight, making the phone great to use even under direct sunlight. There's just one issue with the screen I couldn't help but notice. It lags, even with the 90Hz refresh rate. While it is smooth, especially when you're watching videos, sometimes when scrolling to the menu, you can experience some lag. You'll notice this more if you swipe up or tap the screen a bit too fast. The same goes when you're browsing social media or the internet, but I think that could be related to the hardware of the HONOR X7a, which we will discuss later. Moving on to the camera, the HONOR X7a has a quad rear camera system like its predecessor. The primary lens captures a maximum of 50 megapixels along with a 5 megapixel wide, 2 megapixel depth, and 2 megapixel macro lens. As a result, the rear camera is great for capturing objects no matter what the subject matter is. The photos look great even when the lighting isn't that perfect, with minimal editing needed. You even get some great contrast if you're shooting using the Pro mode. The edges do tend to be a bit soft, but whatever you focus on is quite sharp. The photos appear to be digitally enhanced by the phone as well. As a result, you can upload the photos as they are on social media without the need to touch them up on Lightroom or other apps. Since you do have 50 megapixels at your disposal, you also get high-resolution photos. Perfect when you're traveling and if you need to crop the photos together with the 10x digital zoom. Just mind that the quality goes down quite drastically when you start zooming in. Not surprisingly, the photos aren't that great also at night or in low light conditions. There's no night mode either, so you'll likely be left with photos that look heavily filtered. You can use Pro mode though, but it's not that much of a difference. If you want to take selfies, you do get an 8 megapixel shooter at the front. Honestly, it's not the best and the photos do end up a bit filtered, but I think it's best used with the beauty effect if you're into that. Meanwhile, video recording is capped at 1080p at 30 FPS, and it's not bad for those that just want to capture memories. The same with the front camera. However, do note that there is no optical stabilization, so you have to shoot with a steady hands to capture great video. We'll show you some of the photos we captured using the HONOR X7a right here. Now let's talk about what's under the hood of the HONOR X7a. It only comes with either 4 or 6 GB of RAM, but you do have HONOR RAM Turbo. Internal storage is limited to only 128 GB, but you can expand this via micro SD card. Our particular review unit comes with 6 GB RAM. To be frank, you shouldn't really expect that much from this phone when it comes to performance. I'm quite certain that HONOR didn't mean for the X7a to be a gaming phone given the specs that it has and its price point. As a result, the benchmark scores, which you'll see here, aren't the best, but do remember to set your expectations. This is a phone under 8,000 pesos after all. That said, the HONOR X7a was able to run Asphalt 9 but with the graphics settings set on low. The gameplay wasn't as smooth as it was on other more expensive phones we tried, but that was to be expected. Still, not bad. Just don't expect it to run a game with heavier graphic requirements like Genshin and more. While performance might not be the HONOR X7a's strong suit, it does make up for it in the battery department. This smartphone packs a pretty huge 6000 mAh lithium-ion battery, which is bigger than most smartphones in this segment. Heck, it's even bigger than most of the batteries you would find in even more expensive phones. This means you have longer time before you need to recharge the phone. HONOR claims the X7a's battery can last up to 3 days before recharging. Based on my usage of the phone, it does seem to be accurate if you're not really purely focusing on gaming or what. To give you a better idea, PCMark's battery test scored the phone at 15 hours and 1 minute. When you do eventually need to recharge the phone, the HONOR X7a comes with 22.5 watt fast charging too. I left the phone at 10%, and after just a quick 30-minute game of Modern Warfare 2, it was close to almost 45% of charge already. So, all things considered, the HONOR X7a is an okay phone, but it isn't really a phone you would choose if you had the budget to buy something more powerful. But if you are a bit tight on budget and you just want a phone that works great for under 8,000 pesos in this 2023, the HONOR X7a is a model you should consider. At the affordable price of 7,990 pesos, it has everything you might need in a phone. Dual SIM, a big battery, a decent camera, and more. So, what do you think of the HONOR X7a? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, do hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And hit that notification bell to be updated with future uploads. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and visit nugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Jose, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya!